T-Man 2217. The thing is, all this talk about Trump this and Trump that is well and good, but in the end, it means very little. We know what the political landscape is going to be like next year. Talk is cheap. We need action. Okay, yeah, T-Man. I mean, if you're talking about the inevitable shenanigans, absolutely. Now, again, that's been part of Trump's um, strategies. The only one that I know of who's talking about a ballot harvesting strategy is tapping into what's called the SoCal ballot harvesting strategy, where Republicans have been able to win in Southern California in districts that are even +4 Democrat. And they've been going largely to evangelical churches and ballot harvesting at those churches. So evangelicals vote for Republicans 80% of the time, but only about 50% of evangelicals come out to vote. Now, if you, with ballot harvesting, if you're going to the churches, bringing the vote to them, as it were, you could take an 80% Republican vote and turn that and get the turnout to be upwards of 90%. And then we're finding that's incredibly effective. So if Trump is doing that in Arizona, Georgia in particular, Wisconsin, it's going to be massive. So absolutely, you got to do that. You got to make sure you're implementing Steve Bannon's precinct strategy. The precinct strategy is very important. So where they're counting the votes in real time with cameras and the like to hold the counters accountable, as it were. And we have to get out. Nothing replaces getting out the vote in mass. When we looked at 2022, again, this is the difference. In 2022, because Trump wasn't on the ballot, the rural working class vote did not come out in mass for any other candidate. They came out for J.D. Vance. We saw that in Ohio, but he really worked hard at getting the working class vote to come on out for him. But the working class, but this was the bane of the existence of Democrats, as long as the working class was on their side. So the union vote, overwhelmingly Democrat, they would get their butts kicked every single midterm because they didn't come out to vote. They only came out for presidential elections or elections where there was a particular, popular union candidate nationally on the ticket. They don't tend to come out for midterm elections. And we found that out the hard way in 2022. They came out for Trump in 2016. They came out for Trump in 2020, despite all the shenanigans. Remember, Trump got 9 million more votes in 2020 than he get, almost 10 million more votes in 2020 than he got in 2016. Even with all of those shenanigans, he lost by only 40,000 votes between Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin. So it's not as dire as people, or at least it doesn't have to be. So we've got to get the vote out. You've got to have a get out the vote campaign, the likes of which we've never seen. We've got to have ballot harvesting, and you've got to institute Bannon's precinct strategy. You do those three things, we're rocking and rolling. All right. And don't get discouraged and don't discourage others, T-Man. Watch out for that, because that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Watch out for that. But first, gang, big news. There are huge new designs in our merch store. We're gearing up for the upcoming election like no one else. How do you like this one, right? All the top designs featured on the store.turleytalks.com site are limited quantity and won't be available for long. So grab one of these incredible designs for yourself or for a fellow patriot and get some Christmas shopping done early this year. But more importantly, stand boldly for truth. Don't miss out on owning one of these amazing designs before they disappear forever. Order right now at store.turleytalks.com. Stuart the Brit, thank you for the pound sterling. Have a John Smith's, I would say, on me. I should send you back the money and you could have your John Smith's on me. But for me, I missed, we don't get John Smith's over here. Sir Knight, I've been knighted. All right. Is Trump a figurehead of a proud peoples or just him? Therefore, the American people. Well, that remains to be seen. I still believe, as I know across the pond you do, I still believe there's a heartland, not to channel my inner Mackinder and kind of shrink the globe into every single nation, but you guys know what I'm talking about if you know Mackinder. But I think there's a heartland people. There's a people in every nation that love their culture, their customs, their traditions, that take their inheritance seriously, that take seriously the sacrifices that our forefathers made for our our nations, our people, what have you. That unfortunately, a first generation migrant just simply can't relate to and doesn't have that connection to the soil that we do. Loved ones, generations of which buried in a particular region, a particular space. There is a people that where the reterritorialization, the relocalization of politics that's happening today because of the breakup of globalism, those people are the ones that are rising up. Those people are the ones that are most animated and most awakened, not woke, awakened by this reterritorialization. And there are bootleggers, political bootleggers, who are not part of the political establishment that are rising up, like a Farage, for example, or Tommy Robinson and a Trump, that are rising up and consolidating the values, interests, and concerns of that heartland people and being able to bring it in a clear, coherent political message for all to hear. I think Trump is that. But it remains to be seen how massive the people are. I believe they're huge. But again, like our previous questioner said, hey, this is all talk until we get to the election. And if they're not coming out in droves, then all this is for naught. I got a little fruit fly around here. I don't want to be seen smacking a poor little fruit fly, but he's so annoying. Thank you, Stuart. So I do believe he's the figurehead of a proud people, and I hope it's not just him in the end.
Hey, gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.